design. So in this video, I'm going to explain about what is CCP module and how it is going to be operated in capture, compare, and PWM module. So CCP module actually stands for capture, compare, PWM module. So there are two CCP modules in 16 F450 16 series PIC microcontroller. So in 18F450, we have a two CCP modules, one ECCP, another one is called as a CCP module. So ECCP stands for Enhanced Capture Compare PWM module, and CCP module is the common CCP module. The difference between ECCP and the CCP module of a PIC 18450 PIC microcontroller is that in the PWM mode of operations of the ECCP module, they have provided the additional uh, capability. That means you can generate a 4 different PWM signals with the help of ECCP module. So what actually the use of this PIC microcontroller or CCP module? So CCP module actually supports the measurement, control, and the generation of a pulsed signals with respect to a time. So that means this CCP module can be operated in a capture, compare, PWM mode. So when it is operated in the capture mode, uh, it will provide the programmer to measure the external signals that is applied to the CCP input pin. So when it is used in the compare mode, so you can generate the some timing signals, so that can be used to synchronize the external hardware devices, or generate the timing signal for the external circuits in the system. And also in PWM mode of operations, you can use this CCP module to generate a PWM signals. So already we know that these PWM signals are going to be widely used in the control of a DC motor. So if you vary the duty cycle of a PWM signals, the average power carried by the PWM signal will be vary. So that can be used to control the speed of operation, speed of rotation, RPM of a DC motor. So first we'll look at the capture mode of operation of CCP module. So in capture mode, actually we have a 16-bit CCP register, which is composed by two 8-bit CCP registers, CCP R1 lower, CCP R1 higher. It will capture the 16-bit value of a timer 1 register when an event occur on the RC2 and CCP2 pin. So that means this CCP 16-bit register will capture the timer 1 16-bit value. So when there is a every falling edge appears on the RC2 CCP1 pin of a PIC microcontroller, or rising edge of a every rising edge, so it captures the timer 1 value, or during the 4th rising edge of a signal or 16th rising edge of the signal. The type of event is configured by the bits CCP M3 to CCP M0 in the CCP control register. The operation of this CCP module is controlled by a CCP control register, that is CCP CON register. So in the CCP CON register, there are 4 bits: CCP M0, CCP M1, CCP M2, and CCP M3. The combination of these 4 will decide in which mode actually you are operating CCP module. So when it is operated in the capture mode, you have an option to operate to capture the timer 1 value, or timer 1 value during the every falling edge signal appear on the CCP input pin, that is RC2 CCP1, or during the rising edge of every rising edge of a signal, or during the 4th rising edge of a signal, or 16th rising edge of a signal. So when a capture is made, the interrupt request flag, CCPIF flag, is going to be set to indicate the microcontroller CPU, so that a value from the timer has been captured. So if it is actually CCPIF flag will be always set. So if an interrupt is enabled with respect to this CCP module, it will cause an interrupt to the microcontroller. If the another capture occurs before the value in the CCP register is read, the old value is overwritten by the new value. So continuously the values of the timer 1 register is going to be captured by the CCP register. So if you fail to access the CCP register value, the previously read captured CCP register value will be overwritten. So the value that is captured, that is going to be useful for measuring the external clock signals time durations. So if you measure the time durations or external pulses, so that can be used to measure the frequency of an external signal that is applied to the RC2 pin as well. So as I told that the operations of this CCP module in the capture mode is explained in this block diagram. You can see here we will have a RC2 CCP1. So this is the port C pin number 2 of a PIC microcontroller that will act as a CCP module pin. So when you are using this CCP module, you need to configure this RC2 pin as an input line. So this pin is capable of detecting a rising gate signal as well as the falling gate signal. So when CCP module is configured to operate in the capture mode, so it detects the rising gate or falling gate signal according to the mode selection bits. So when there is a event like rising gate signal or falling gate signal, so that time, so this will set the CCP I1 flag as well as this will capture the timer 1 register value into the CCP register. So as soon as this CCP PIC microcontroller RC2 pin will input pin will detect a rising gate signal or a falling gate signal. So when you are using this CCP module in the capture mode, you need to make sure that you need to turn on the timer 1 higher and timer 1 module of a PIC microcontroller. So here the operations of that PIC microcontroller CCP module is controlled by the CCP control register. So as I told that CCP M0, CCP1, M1, CCP M2, CCP M3, these 4 bits, combination of these 4 bits will decide in which mode you are operating the CCP module. So here you can see when the mode selection bits, all the mode selection bits are 0, 0, that means this CCP module will be in the off state. So it will be disabled, so that when you are not using any of these CCP module feature, you make sure that these 4 bits of a CCP control register should be set to 0. So this will help in saving the power of your system. So for example, if you want to operate a CCP module to capture the value of timer register on every falling edge, so you have to make sure that these mode selection bits should be set to 0, 1, 0, 0. So these 4 bits should be set to 0, 1, 0, 0 if you want to operate a CCP module to capture the value of timer on every falling edge signal. Suppose if you want to capture the timer 1 register value, so for every rising edge signal, so how to configure these mode selection bits in the CCP control register as a 0, 1, 0, 1. So if you want to capture the timer value for 4th rising edge signal, so then you make sure that the mode selection bits are 0, 1, 1, 0. So for capturing the timer value for 16th rising edge signal, how to set the mode selection bit 0, 1, 1, 1. So this will control the operations of a CCP register. So here is an example. So I will show you that how actually this CCP module is going to be useful for measuring the external clock signals, time duration as well as the frequency. So assume that your PIC microcontroller is operating at a 4 megahertz clock frequency. So then that oscillator time will be 0.25 microsecond, because f oscillator frequency 1 divided by f oscillator frequency, which is equal to the time period of a oscillator clock of a PIC microcontroller. Then if your microcontroller is operating at a 4 megahertz, means then the time required for a one timer count will be 4 into t oscillator frequency, so that it will become 1 microsecond. So the time required for a one timer count without prescaling. So for example, in this case, assume that you have configured the timer CCP module and timer 1. So if you want to operate this CCP model, you have to make sure that the timer 1 should be turned on. So in this case, assume that timer 1 is running and you have enabled the CCP module to capture the timer 1 register value on every falling edge signal. So assume that, so at the pin RC2, you have applied this clock signal. So at RC2, you have applied this clock signal. So when this falling edge signal is detected on the RC2 pin, the timer 1, here you can see this timer 1 register value will be transferred to the CCP register. So that assume that, so when this falling edge signal appears, that timer 1 value is something around 2000. So after first falling edge signal, so during the second falling edge signal, obviously count will be increased. So again, it will capture the timer 1 value. So assume that during that time, so it will be 2010. So if you capture these two value, that means if you capture the timer values for 2 successive falling edge signals, so by differentiating these two value, you can find out the how many counts has been taken for 2 successive falling edge signals. So in this case, the difference between 2000 and 2010 count will be 10. So there will be 10 counts has been taken for first falling edge signal to the second falling edge signal. So you know the time required for one count. So here this clock signal is taking 10 counts for a 2 successive falling edge signal. So now you can find out the time between these two successive falling edge signals. So that will give the time period of the clock signal that is applied at the RC2. So here, if it is a 10 count, means 10 into 1 microsecond. So the time elapsed between these two successive falling edge signal will be 10 microsecond. So you know that T equal to 10 microsecond. So if you reciprocal this value, so you can find out the what is the frequency of that clock signal. So because this is the time period of that clock signal. So 1 divided by 10 microseconds means, so this is equal to nearly 100 kilohertz. So in this way, you can calculate the time duration of an external clock signal using CCP module in the capture mode of operation. So suppose if you have applied a clock signal to RC2, which is approximately 4 megahertz, then the time between 2 successive falling edge will become almost it will become 1 microsecond, so that you cannot recognize the 2 successive edge signals. So you have to make sure that you have other options. That is, you have an option of detecting 4th rising edge and 16th rising edge, so that you can use that 4th rising edge option or 16th rising edge detection option to measure the time duration between a higher frequency clock signals or a rising and falling edge signal that is applied to the RC2 pin. So this is about that CCP module capture mode of operation. Thank you for